Hey everyone, welcome back. For the USF 2000 this week, we are at the Milwaukee Mile. If you remember from last season, we were here as well with the exact same car. However, the setup was changed slightly at the beginning of the season 4. I felt that the ride height of the car perhaps increased a little bit and the tire pressures knocked off a little bit, which means the tire should grip a little bit more and there's less rubbing on the bottom. Because I think you remember from the last season, there was just scraping all the way through and there's nothing you can do about it because it's a fixed setup race. So this season it feels a lot better. I was able to get a 28.2 in terms of a time. My former best time was 28.5 in the last season. So at least for me, it's a zero point 0.3 of a second improvement from last season. Either it's the setup or I'm getting a little bit better, or maybe both. I hope so. So let's show you through this hot lap. I'll let it run through the entire way and then I'll pause and give some pointers. The key here is to be really smooth and to make sure you get super close to the wall but don't ever touch it. And to carry as much speed as you possibly can because this car is pretty underpowered. So let me flip it to the cockpit mode and you can see it from this camera angle. So you can tell here, I lift ever so slightly, I would say, as I turn in. I don't lift, but midway through the turn in, when you're just about to get to the start of this little curb here, 1 or 2 car lengths, I start lifting off to about maybe a third or half throttle, depending on what your line is coming in. If you're coming in from as close to the wall as possible, like all the way out here, I would lift a little bit later. And then depending on where your turn in is, sometimes I see a lot of people turn in really late. I find that to be really compromising when it comes to the turn in speed, but you also gain with a later apex. I'd like to take an early apex or at least a middle apex here, simply because it protects the line better and it's less stressful on the tires. So I sort of modulate the throttle a little bit just to manipulate the car, get it to like tuck in a little bit more. You can see from the blimp view here that I'm actually taking the apex right here in this smack in the middle. I am not doing a late apex like some people do and cut in. I find that there's absolutely no banking on the pit exit. And so that some people love to cheat through here. I personally, I don't like to do it. I only do it when I'm trying to catch a draft or I make a mistake or there's some car that's forcing me from taking this sort of sweeping line in. Anyway, back into the car. As you start to gas out, be super smooth and watch out for this wall here. And it's sort of by feel, but you have to trust that you will be able to make the corner. It looks like I'm going to understeer right into the wall, but you just hold that foot in and the wall just keeps getting closer and closer and you hope you don't nail into it. So in this case, I was pretty close. I can probably put half a tire in there. Get as close as possible. Comes with practice. You can see a lot of people hit the wall. So I start turning in a little bit earlier than some folks. I see a lot of people turn in from here. I personally think it's a mistake. I turn in closer over here, right where the smooth concrete barrier ends. I start turning in. And then as you turn in, it's still full throttle, but as you tuck in, I lift off to help the nose tuck in even more. And I usually add a little bit more steering, try to use the weight transfer forward. And while it's happening, the front wheels grip a little bit more and keep tucking in the nose. Hold the throttle steady. And then slowly unwind. Now, I don't actually go onto this black asphalt here. I see, again, a lot of people who take that late apex, they cut through here and be able to go and take a very shallow line because they took a sharp corner on entry. I personally sweep wide, and depending on which draft you follow, I think that's probably more important, but you have to be sort of comfortable doing multiple different types of lines on this circuit and get a really good feel for where that grip is on the circuit. But I just swing wide here, and there's a lap. So there you have it. Thank you so much again for watching. Let me know if this is helpful. I find this to be very much a practice sort of circuit, and you get a feel for it. Otherwise you end up in the wall like that guy. But it's yeah, you're gonna end up in the wall a lot. Don't be frustrated. I find that this is just really all about getting comfortable, getting good instincts of when you're able to get close to the wall but not hit the wall. So have fun, and I'll see you out on track. Bye for now.